really looking forward to this conversation, which involves completely different continents with very different experiences of mission and Christianity today. So what we're going to do is we have 8 students. Each one's going to speak for about 4 to 5 minutes. Each student will introduce themselves.
I'm Isaac Selam. I come from South India. My topic that I've chosen for today is mission and religious pluralism. Christian mission and religious pluralism. When we look at how missions considered other religions was always condescending. It was always with an attitude to conquer, with an attitude to replace, or with an attitude to say that there is something wrong in that religion and we have the right. Today, while I'm presenting this, I'm going to question this mission. This mission is not questioning the integrity of the missionaries or whatever, but in general, it is going to be a question to mission as it was carried on in other countries. And I do it not from my perspective, but from very important figures of Indian history. The first person that I'm trying to quote is Gandhi, the Mahatma, the great soul, as many people say. Gandhi, as you know, was influenced by Christ, and he was unashamed in admitting that. He would tell everyone that he was influenced by Christ, and he would ask all the Hindu youth and the other groups to read the Bible, to read the Gospels, know more about Christ. And in this context, his very good friend, a bishop, Stanley Jones, asked him, "You are very good about Christ, but why don't you become a Christian?" And Gandhi replied saying, "I like Christ, but I don't like Christians." One reason could be that Christians claim that they believe in Christ, but they do not follow Christ. And today, I think if we want to do Christian mission, we should take the words of Jesus saying, "You are the salt of the earth. Salt can never be seen, but it permeates wherever it is. And you are the light of the world. It doesn't make noise." And so I think, I always like this quote of St. Francis of Assisi, who says, "Preach the gospel at all times. When needed, use words." Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Toar Banua Hutagalung. I'm from Indonesia. I pursue my undergraduate in Jakarta Theological Seminary, and now I'm studying Master of Arts in Theological Research. So I'm bringing a topic of mission and post-colonial in Indonesia, of course. So like what Isaac said, it's kind of grateful when we can receive, when we can hear about the good news, about the gospel, about Christianity from the West. Well, in our condition, in our context, it is Europe, not American. And maybe it is Spain, Portuguese, British, German, and mostly Dutch for 3.5 years. And we are thankful because they bring the Bible, they build the schools, they build the hospitals. But actually, what I can say is the result is not so good. Why? Because what I can say is because they brought it through colonization. Maybe we have heard about the concept of kernel and husk from Richard Niebuhr. And it's actually also problematic because the missionary in the past time used this kind of concept. So they look in the local people, the culture, as the husk, but the gospel as the kernel. So they need to purify the gospel, move away, get rid of the cultural things, and put on the kernel, put on the gospel. And this is problematic because we cannot let go all the cultural things. We cannot let go of the cultural accessories. But the missionaries don't know about that. They embedded this paradigm and reject the local wisdom, the local culture. So instead of it, why, if you want to do the mission in Indonesia, we have to find the local wisdom. We have to syncretize the local cultures with the gospel. It's not kind of, what to say, controversy, but we can find the syncretization of that. So the hybridity is the identity of Indonesia. So what I mean is, this post-colonial is, firstly, can be interpreted as after effect of the colonization in the past, but post-colonial is also a study to analyze, to criticize this colonization, this continuation of this colonization that is embedded in the people, in the society. And we can use this study to extend our mission in Indonesia. Thank you.
He heard that some theological students might become unbelievers through theological education. I said, it surely sometimes happens. And he said to me, I don't think theology can help my spiritual life. Then he began to worry about my spirituality because I'm in a liberal environment. Then he began to check my faith. At one place, he asked me, do you still believe that Jesus' sacrifice is God's special revelation? I tell this story to give an example about how missionary works can reunite people together into one family, but also might separate people with new boundaries created by missionaries' theological preconceptions. I read some of Rene Girard's scapegoat theory. He proposes that the celebrants of sacrificial ritual might not understand the real meaning of that sacrifice. So he reminds us there's always a distance between the theological interpretation and the real desires expressed through that religious activity. There's a difference there. So Gerard, I think he does not want to criticize a specific form of sacrificial ritual, but he traces that sacrificial action back to our anthropological and social reality behind our religious performances. Therefore, he disclosed that there is a sacrificial ideology not beginning from our religious activities, but rooted in our social political lives, having their biological and anthropological foundation. My point is that theology thus is unavoidable and necessary as the instrument to discover ourselves not only in terms of theological tradition, but also in terms of our cultural, social, and political locals. Otherwise, theology could also be dangerous in light of our twisted biological instinct. Now let me go back to my communication with that friend. He introduced to me that at that moment of his conversion, he felt so touched that he cried with tears down. I said to him, yes, I had exactly the same feeling as you. I felt that I was part of Jesus and Jesus was part of me. Didn't you have the same feeling as I did? And he replied, yes, I had exactly the same feeling. I said to him, all other conceptions, interpretations were added to that moment afterward. And he said, yes, exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Marvin Lance Weiser. I'm from the United States of America, from the South. Grew up in a very mission-oriented evangelical tradition. and then spent about 3 years in Latin America, and now I have found myself in Boston. The topic that chose me for this occasion was mission and postmodernity. I'm grateful to be around this table here with people from India, Indonesia, China, and the States. Perhaps decades ago, this wouldn't have been that much of the norm. Isaac has just mentioned mission is partnership. And thinking back to the initial question, what is mission in the 21st century? That word really rings true, partnership. Another word, mutuality, hospitality. Now these ideas of truth and reason and the very foundations of what we think of and how we see the world, how postmodernity has shaken that for ourselves in this generation, has also done a lot of good in the sense of the old paradigm would be we have the truth and we are going to graciously impart that truth to you. The opposite extreme of that would be there is absolutely no truth, so why mission? I think a healthy medium would be I have part of the truth by the grace of God, as do you. And that's where mutuality and partnership come into play. And that's where the pluralism, religious pluralism comes up, and also the added aspects of interreligious dialogue. All faith, in essence, has to be that, interfaith, if it is to be of mutuality. But one thing that I want to hone in on is that that doesn't exclude mission. And how is that, this missio Dei, God's mission, how does that fit into that? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Paudolian from northern part of Chin State, Myanmar. I count this is my high privilege, and I'm honored to be on this particular day of the 200 years of Judson missionary to Burma. I'm here for Dimin. I'm here for 5 months already, and I'm glad that I got this opportunity since I'm from Burma. So for this discussion, I have picked up a topic on disciples in mission, which is from the light of 21st century. But I would like to go back to the 18th century, who came to Burma. Judson, he landed on Burma on the 13th of July, 1813, from India. So he worked for 6 years every day, but at the end of the 6 years, he got only one convert. After 6 years, he got double and even hundreds within over 10 years. Without him, I may not be here today, and I'm glad. Why Judson effective and successful in Myanmar? Judson was the one who planted Protestant faith in Myanmar. So the strategies, some of the strategies I have found from his life was he graduated from a recognized seminary. He was sent by board, mission board, and he has basic doctrines. And then some of his strategies, he always welcome, he is willing to contribute any help, whether social life or religious or whatever. So in the times of his mission, there were none Christians. There were no one who speak English. But his hard work proved that now we have Burmese Bible, Judson translated, and it's very powerful, I can say. And he approached sometime in social life. He was willing to help people. If he sees someone work, he just help. If he meets someone on the road, he try to talk and try to friendship with him. And all this make him easy to work among Buddhists. So I would like to comment for the 21st century in Myanmar context, social approach is the most effective way to work in Myanmar as a Christian.
So my name is Katherine Merrill. I am an MDiv student here at Andover Newton. My nationality is from the US, but I am perhaps more appropriately a Yankee. I have come from a very long line of New Englanders, and if you've been in New England for any length of time, there are always farmers and ministers in your background. There weren't that many job choices at the time. We had a few blockade runners, but mostly it was farmers and ministers. So in many ways, my people sent the missionaries to your people. And all of the condescension and lack of authenticity and paternalism and universalism and all the challenges that came with how we did missions when we started out came from my people. And if my job is to apologize, then we have completely lost the thread of God and Christ. My job is to learn. So as part of that education here at Andover Newton, I had to go on a border crossing, and I had the wonderful opportunity of going to southern China. Now, having come from this long line of ministers, I know that to have a church, you need a building, and you need an educated minister, you need an ordained minister. You certainly, since I'm a Congregationalist, need a denomination behind you. You need a lot of books and a fair amount of money. And it's a very long list before you can get a church going. And one of the things that I learned from going to China was that if that is your list, then you have sold God very short. If you can bring to your heart and to the people around you the Holy Spirit, then you have what it takes to raise and lead a church. One of the things that I got to see in China was how very little it took to let the Spirit free and open up the hearts of people. So I think when we talk about what is mission today, we may need to focus more on the missionaries than on the missions. Are they people who are authentic? Are they people who are particular? Do they know what their faith is? Can they respect that in other people? Because when we get caught in all of those old isms, then we are also selling God short. We are not preaching the Bible, and we are not following Christ. We are not meeting people where they are. And if that is a lesson that I can gain from my education here at ANTS, then it has been time well spent. So as I look into missions that my church will send, I care less about who we meet and where we go, and I care a great deal more about who we send and why they're going, because that will mean that the mission will be successful.
This has been very enriching, and thankfully we have it recorded because I think there'll be lots of further reflection that will take place. Please join me in thanking you.